Made a tic-tac-toe board.
Can you turn up the volume?
Of what?
Good point.
Oh, okay, I'll play. I figured that if we both play X's, we win.
You're right. I did it.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't move. Please, miss, don't say a word. Just give me a moment. You're a woman. You're black. From a very strange place. Cleveland. You're wearing earth tones. You used to date a policeman, but you just couldn't cop it. He made you very unhappy. Is that true? Where is she? Where'd she go? And who are you?
I'm white, I'm male. You didn't get one of those things right.
I have a cold.
Welcome, everyone, back once again to MaJaMa Jams, sitting here on the couch discussing movies, dissecting other people's work instead of doing our own. As always, we are your hosts. I am Jason, Matteo the Italian, and Matthew, my brother. And today is a very, 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 very special episode of MaJaMa Jams.
No!
Now, those of you who watch the show regularly, there's about 6 of you, that might be a high estimate. Chunk of episodes back, we dove into Earth Minus Zero because the producer, co-writer, special effects guy, a whole bunch of stuff on that movie was Gary LeConte, a man who helped us out, me and my brother, when we first got out here into the balls-out crazy land of Hollywood. So today, we're flipping it over to the other member of Jams, Anyway, so today we are flipping it over to the other member of Jams to delve into his first experience out here in Hollywood, and boy is it going to be a doozy because this time he was hands-on part of the crew.
Shut up!
We are going into the zany, wacky, joke and celebrity stuffed 1994 Silence of the Hams, and I am going to shut this big mouth up because today is the Italian show, and you're about to get a lot of behind the scenes on a movie you've probably never heard of. Matteo, let's start the deluge. Silence of the Hams. The floor is yours.
Well, speaking of which, can we just leave and...
Oh yeah,
You
do you
can
need
do
us
the-
here for this? Or
Can I leave too?
you can just do voiceover if you want.
you do like a real world confessional when we're in the bathroom when we're gone, then just edit it into
Right. It will
us laughing. So we'll do some laughs and then he'll get us.
Yeah. Or
I'm not
if you
gonna
want,
laugh.
let's try just like stay silent 1 second, and I go on your close up and I put my voice underneath it.
Okay,
and
I'll-
say- no, just like standing still. It will be.
I'll do this.
It will be seamless. Yeah, exactly. Hi, I'm Jason and I'm doing stuff. And I'm Matthew and I'm doing stuff.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so the Silence of the Hams, which is a fun. Did you get it?
Oh, because originally it was lambs,
Yes.
but there was no ham in the movie.
No, they mentioned.
Now, describe your most dirty, decadent, disgusting, dangerous, defective, decorative, defoliated, decotaged, deformed, dried dream.
Ham?
Was the ham silent? Ham can be very quiet, unless the ham is falling downstairs. Then it goes boom, dee boom, bum, bum, boom, boom.
So the plot is very simple. Is Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, interconnected all together. The original story is an FBI agent called Jodie Foster gets assigned his first case, which is to find out pretty much the responsible of the vanishing of his fiancée, who has stolen $400,000 from a real estate agent. The search brings him to the Cemetery Motel, run by the suspicious Antonio Motel, and pretty much is from there it just like is Psycho. while a mysterious animal cannibal pizza, played by Don DeLuise, Dr. Animal Cannibal Pizza, gives him hints on the case. Eventually, it's not really clear to this day. I still have no idea at the ending of all the masks and who is responsible, who is not, and everything, but everybody live happily ever after, pretty much. That's, to a degree, is the story, I guess.
And then between all that is joke to joke, joke to joke, joke, joke,
Yes.
joke.
It's a series of jokes. A few of them are fairly dated, others are extremely dated, and 2 or 3 lands.
But there's plenty.
There was all right, so do we want to just hop into the movie analysis? Do we want to get into a little bit behind the story of how you got here? Because I do think the ratio...
Just poke him when he stops talking.
I was going to say, I think that when we do get into it, I do want to talk about the ratio of jokes, because I actually thought it was impressive.
Yes.
So, do you want to give us a little backstory of how this came to be?
Okay.
Because like I said, this was...
You were in the movie!
I was in the movie.
And we're going to get to that, because it is quite literally a killer cameo. But no, it's a very cool thing.
No!
Do me a favor, just because I like this aspect. Who and what made you want to do this? Be involved in the movies. Let's start with that, because I think it's I think it's a cool. It's just a cool little thing.
First of all, who are you?
I'll try to be as
You can just answer in one thing, but just
as quick as possible. But because I know exactly the moment I knew that I wanted to do that or this or whatever it is.
Sitting on a couch with 2 losers from New Jersey who can't get their ass off the ground?
Precisely.
I still don't want to do this.
It was my dream. So, when I was 6, I saw on the newspaper in Italy a photo of 2 individuals which I never seen before, and the note was, they are remaking Frankenstein. That was it. For some reason, I say, oh, I want to see this. And I had no idea what it was.
But you knew what Frankenstein was.
I knew of the Frankenstein novel and the Frankenstein movie, yes. And even the newspaper did not know that it was Young Frankenstein. It was the photo of Gene Wilder teaching Peter Boyle to walk.
What year is Young Frankenstein?
73, I believe.
Holy shit.
When the movie came out in Italy, which was 74, because at the time they had to dub it and there was a lot of stuff, I was crushed. Because it came to Italy restricted 18. In Italy there is no the PG-13 that if your parents decide to or a guardian decide to take you. No, if it's restricted 18, it's restricted 18. You cannot get in. I was 7 when it came out, actually 8, and I was devastated because for some reason I had to see that movie. Even worse, my brother saw it. I couldn't live with myself. I was like, oh my God, this is the biggest...
Did you rub it in your face?
Yes.
Was it Andrea?
Stefano.
What a jerk.
2 weeks after the movie came out, they removed the restriction. And it, all
I
of
was
a
going to say,
sudden,
it's not that very explicit.
And it became, for everybody, rated G, pretty much. For Italy has only the equivalent of G, restricted 14, restricted 18.
At the time.
That's it, yes. That day I went to see it with my grandma, and I don't know who of us got the least number of jokes, because they were talking about Schwanzstuka, they were talking about very weird things. I loved it. I loved everything I saw, even if I didn't understand what was going on, but I genuinely loved it. I went home that night and I asked my Mom, who does make movies? And she told me, well, actors and directors, but they write them too. And she told me, no, that's the screenwriter. That's what I want to do when I grow up. Luckily, I never grew up. So that was the inception of the idea.
So it was a Mel Brooks movie
Yes.
that made him want to do this. Start with that because it's going to come back around.
Yes.
Now, please continue on to the backstory of you coming here for this movie.
Why'd you say his name like that?
Who?
Mel Brooks.
Because he's a god among men.
All right.
Can't say no. Fast forward a few years, when I was 20 years old, I started to work for television on a TV show called Drive-In. And while I was working there, one of the writers and actually two of the writers said, "Hey, you are writing this movie, this Italian movie. It's called Italian Fast Food. Would you like to also assist us and work with it?" And sure. So we wrote this script, me uncredited, and they wrote a character that it was me. Hence, I played a part in the movie, uncredited as well. Nobody knows that I'm in that movie except for the two of you. Yes, I don't care. It was fun.
E adesso facci vedere la tua grinta Stermination e facci sentire la frase più tremenda, la più cattiva che conosci. Un insulto very schioppettation.
Pezzo d'asino.
Pezzo d'asino! Troppo scarso!
And if it wasn't in Italian, we'd be doing fast food on this channel too.
We're going to.
Probably
Hey,
not.
fuck it, we're going to.
Okay.
Matthew asked for it.
All right.
We'll need you to translate live. For
Yes,
all 90
exactly.
minutes.
The whole movie is going to be terrible. Oh, well. One of the stars of the show was writing for, as well as a writer of this Italian fast food, was Ezio Greggio. A very talented comedian and actor and director and producer and writer. And I think that except for makeup, he has done
A
everything.
multi-hyphenate.
Yes.
Fuori i soldi, grazie, 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 grazie. E via, qua! Che tipo tossico che lei! Venga su! Mi faccia una cortesia, per caso, mi può cambiare questo assegno? Scusi un secondo, dove ho messo l'assegno? Dove ho messo l'assegno? Eccolo qui, me la può cambiare? Grazie, grazie, grazie molte, vado.
Scusi, me lo può girare?
Glielo giro? Sì. Glielo giro subito! Ecco fatto! Ha visto che gliel'ho girato? Fuori i soldi, fuori i soldi!
Right after Italian fast food, he said, I had another idea for a movie. And at the time, the idea in its infancy, it was the parody of Psycho made with every single actor was supposed to be the Italian infomercial hosts. They were in the late 80s, early 90s, the infomercials, the half-an-hour infomercials boomed in Italy. They just came out, and they were stars like you have here,
Rich Holloman?
people like that, or the late what's his name?
Emeril Lagasse.
Yeah, no,
Billy-
Billy, yes,
Billy Zane. Billy Presto. Billy Magic.
Holy shit.
Billy OxyClean. Billy.
Yeah, that's
Billy
the guy.
Batson. Billy.
Oh my god, what the hell is his name? This is so sad.
Billy Mays.
Billy Mays.
Jesus Christ, he says it fucking 20 times in a goddamn minute.
I'm Billy Mays. So those type of people you're
Those
going to
are
have
people-
play the
and
roles
it was supposed to
originally.
be
That's that's weird.
yes, but in Italy they were just like
They were big.
they were huge.
So essentially the idea was every role would be a celebrity.
Yes, but it was one of
Infomercial
those infomercial celebrities.
We would have been on the train.
And the original title that Ezio came up with, which was actually pretty funny, it was Psycho Zero, because at the time there was already Psycho 2, Psycho 3, Psycho 4. So they said, okay, if we have people who have with no psyche whatsoever, it's Psycho Zero.
That's actually pretty funny. The double O.
And so we kind of like wrote this spec script, not
Oh.
spec.
Oof.
Okay.
Sounds
Continue.
literally close to something else.
What?
I can't say it.
Then something, the script vanished. We didn't speak about it for about 1 year. And one day, while Ezio was driving me to Italy, he said, oh yeah, I had an idea for Psycho at the end, a series of masks that every character is another character and stuff like that. It ended there. Fine.
It's too bad.
A couple of years went by still, and then I received a call from him and said, hey, I'm going to America, I'm going to do Psycho Zero, but I changed it. Would you like to come? And I say, let me think, and I was already on the plane.
What a jerk.
And I came here, and we had one of the most wonderful experiences. That usually they say, oh, on the set it was so fun, everybody was friends. Yes, in that case, I only remember 2 instances, extremely brief, probably it lasted less than 30 seconds.
Bloodshed?
Yes, we lost 6 people. But no, I just remember 2 moments where somebody raises the voice because of something else. But it was just like something that you blink and you miss it.
Speaking of lasting less than 30 seconds, did I ever tell you guys about my prom night?
So yes, that's pretty much the genesis of this project. It was shot in 1993, and I had pretty much. I learned later on when I came here. I learned later on that I had 3 roles on the crew.
All right, list them.
Yes, the first one, it was I was introduced as Mr. Ezio Greggio's assistant.
Assistant to Ezio. Number 2.
Which it was a surprise to me. Number 2, which was the one that instead I knew of, filming the whole making of.
Oh,
so every single
documentarian.
Day I lived with a camera on my shoulder, and I filmed everything, from the first take to the last one, everything in between.
Does it exist?
It does exist. I think I have all the raw footage, which I will never watch in my whole life again, because I had to edit 4 shows for the Italian television.
And number 3.
And number 3, which is a secret. Since Ezio knew that I knew a lot of comedies, he told me, go through the script, and if I wrote something that you've seen in another movie, come with a different joke in that same circumstances. So he didn't want to repeat. I mean, there are some jokes that are, let's say, an homage from other movies.
Do me a favor. Keep it down. This is a delicate case, and my mission is top secret.
Don't worry. My lips are sealed.
Thanks.
Hey, guys, there's another asshole cop going down to see Animal Cannibal. Give me the phone. I want to call the newspapers.
Do you mean to say that Dr. Richard Thorndike, one of the world's greatest psychiatric authorities, is suffering from high anxiety?
Yeah, but you would not breathe a word of this to anyone, would you?
Professor.
Yeah?
May I remind you that I am also a professional? I am shocked that you would think I'd say a word about this.
Hey, everybody. Guess who has high anxiety?
And I have to say that very, very few were something they say, okay, we can find something a little more interesting. Or so.
Well, is everything we see, speaking of the joke ratio, everything we see was written on the page?
No.
A lot of it came out in the filming process.
Yes, and especially Dom DeLuise, who is fantastic. We spent one afternoon rewriting entirely his part, and then it was as if we had, because when he went on set, he started to riff, and Billy Zane, who surprised everybody because he, beside being a great dramatic actor, he's a fantastic comedic actor. He has a timing that is sensational.
I'm playing putrid. Oh, solo mio, sembra da te. Oh, solo mia.
You got it enough?
Sembra da te. Oh, solo mia, sembra da te. Sembra da te.
And he's incredibly receptive to whatever you throw at him. He is unflappable.
He's kind of gorgeous, right?
I'm sorry?
It's kind of gorgeous.
He's got one of those faces where it's like
Slick
you were
50s,
you were made to be on screen, like
kind of constantly high, but kind of lowered eyes, always wearing an eyeliner, almost looks like.
Mm-hmm. And so the two of them hit it off and riff it. I remember that sometimes when they were finishing rehearsing and we would move away to go behind the cameras, that you would hear them say, or I can do this. And they were still coming up with ideas, and it was fantastic.
waitresses. And the phone numbers. None more. Action. All right. Photos of all the waitresses. Yes, and the phone numbers. The cook's dental x-rays. Bathroom faucets. Spare tire from the cleaning woman's car. Ah. The spare tire from the cleaning woman's car. Ah! Did you know the tire hurt my balls? Yes.
Another actor who is sensational in terms of improvisation, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being, is Stuart Pankin.
Psycho killer.
Sorry, boss, I couldn't understand you with your cigar in your mouth there.
Crazy murder, psycho killers. People.
Well, I want to get into the jam-packed cast, but just to connect the dots here, there was...
Hold on. And the reason that I came on this big tangent
Yeah,
is
wait
that,
a second, man.
Is that eventually the script, which was 96 pages...
Of paper?
In theory should be 96 minutes. The first rough cut, it was 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Oof. Trim a little bit.
Yeah, just like a little bit. I think that now is about 95, 96 minutes.
So?
It was almost contagious being on that set and everybody, if somebody was coming up with an idea, there was no, oh, do I dare to say it? No, just say, go there, say it. If it's bad, no. There's a line that Charlene Tilton says,
I want a house with a white picket fence. I want children parked in the garage. I want a station wagon playing in the yard.
That joke was from Phil, who was the guy, the responsible of the video playback of the takes. So he was just like, say, why does you say it? Just like flip down like that. Heard it, liked it, it's in the movie.
Iggy Poo.
Iggy, what is that?
My happy noise.
Oh.
It was really incredibly a collaboration. I remember that Stuart Pankin came with his script, and it looked like that on a side that there was another script handwritten by him, because he took his line, the idea of him listing all the ingredients, that the sandwich that he ate and everything, it was him.
Hi, Joe. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I don't feel too good. I must have eaten something that upset my intestines. Could have been those oysters. Fried in the shell with Mexican refried beans, onions, paprika, peanut oil, dates, okra, jalapenos, a touch of ginger. Not now, Ginger. Boy, I feel down in the dumps. Speaking of the dumps, that's the 6th time today I've ridden the old porcelain pony.
Ezio was encouraging everybody to actually be funny and have fun. And hopefully it shows.
Get away from me. Get away from me.
Oh, sit on his lap, CJ. All right, but Pete, look.
Get away from me. Get out of here.
Get
out of here. What? Give these kids a look. You kids go play someplace else. Goddamn kids all the time. Get out of here, you little bastard. Get out of here. I'll give you such a slap. Well, go ahead. You get out. You, I like. Oh. Put that cigar out. I hope you hurt yourself. I hope you hurt yourself.
I think I put your cigar out.
I hope you have to go practice.
Okay, pallbearers in.
Yes, I definitely think that you can tell there was a jovial attitude on set, and especially with Dom.
So the interesting thing about the film is that I do believe that in the comedy scene, when he comes through the door and he has the knife in his back, and he goes to the taxi cab and says, take me to the hospital, I feel that he's got to be very serious. He mustn't be in pain. If he's in pain, I think it's going to ruin the joke. So, don't you know what I mean?
I do know. This is coming out of the...
When he comes out, when he has the knife in his back.
This is another motel, though.
Well, yeah, when he's in the
Ripper motel.
Jack. Excuse me. When he's in the Jack the Ripper motel, he's got to come out with a knife in his back. No, I just a little more sugar, and then I'll be done. When?
Don't do that.
But before we get into this jam-packed cast, which is a pretty fucking stuffed star-studded cast, the fourth role, Matteo, on the movie, which is why I asked you for that intro, and I don't care if you don't want to talk about it because I think it's pretty damn cool. You dead-eyed, glazed-over bitch standing there staring. What was the fourth role you played on set, Matteo?
Why was I brought into that?
I don't know. I like making fun of the dead look on your face, you lifeless bastard.
I play a cameo in the movie. I play a cameo. I have a cameo in the movie.
Alongside
Max Brooks' dad.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
It's okay. Have a party with them.
Mel came to America, ended up the only person on camera with the man whose movie inspired him.
You don't
to
even
want to
see
do
the
this.
taxi cab driver in the same scene as him.
You don't. And in fact, in the book, which you guys see laying on the table, it makes note that Matteo won the role of being the only person on screen with Mel Brooks. So Matteo...
literally?
Yeah.
Yes, the whole crew left for the day.
Matteo, you got the camera and the lighting and everything?
How was it decided? Was it just we need someone for the role, or did you actually ask?
No, I just like one day, Ezio told me. I mean, I knew that Ezio would have put me in the movie at a certain point.
Yeah.
And one day he told me, I decided where to put you. And I knew when I was reading the script, because in the meantime,
I don't think you've heard this story.
In the
yes,
in the
I mean, no, yes, agreeing with you.
In the dead times, I was translating the script in Italian for eventually the dubbing, because a lot of the jokes were so, let's say, so American or so of the English language that neither myself nor Ezio would actually necessarily get them. So, for instance, it was the first time that I learned the expression "pulling my leg."
Huh.
I didn't know about it, and so I had to find some sort of way of saying involving legs for the Italian dubbing.
I thought they were going to cut to her actually pulling on their legs.
Get to all that. I want to hear the story of how the Mel thing was decided. Okay.
So Ezio told me, hey, I thought of a part for you, and I was saying, okay, yes, I'm probably the guy.
Did you know Mel was coming? Or was that a surprise
Did
too?
he give you a warning, or you just blasted?
No, he told me that at some point he would have been on the set.
Okay.
And so he said, yeah, you're gonna be a Mel's bellboy. I say, and I remember looking at him and say, okay, but I want to say a line. He say, you already got it, everything, huh? Okay, fine, you'll say thank you or something like that and everything. And so we did the bit with Mel. He was, first of all, he arrived. I am incredibly grateful for that day because he arrived with Anne Bancroft, his wife, and I have the script of Silence of the Hams signed by Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft.
Very cool.
And the rest of the cast, if you go through the pages, I have Joe Dante with Mogwai. There is everybody has signed the page. This will come in my coffin with me.
You got an offer on eBay. Put the.
No, not that. Anything but that.
So Mel arrived with Anne, and I told him, I say, hey, I probably this doesn't mean anything to you, but you're the reason why I want to be here to make movies, because I saw Young Frankenstein when it came out 4 times in a row, and he said it means the world to me. And then Bancroft, without missing a bit, say, I doubt you saw The Graduate 4 times in a row. And I look at her, and I was so lucky that I say, no, but I did see The Elephant Man 3 times in a row. And she said, oh, you like movies then? I say, yes, I like good movies.
Dude, was your how was your mind not just fucking exploding in your head in this bit? at that age in America, coming from Italy and just having everything
I don't even know, like, can we even get into because there's, to me, as a friend, there's two things here, because, like, we have the same story. We are both little nobodies that came over, us from New Jersey, him from Italy. Obviously, you made a much bigger move, but, like,
a lot of Italians in both places.
Yes, it's true, actually. We know the feeling of just being wide-eyed, driving out here into this dream town, and when I watch this, yes, it's like, we can discuss how the movie came out. That can be a topic unto itself, but, like, my God, just the amount of iconic sets, the amount of iconic people,
and the amount of faces just consistently kept fucking. Let alone just the opening credits, like oh. But then throughout the entire movie, just like what? Just
like
and I'll tell you then the secret why we had that cast.
I spent a good chunk of high school seeing Tom Green turn the weird kid into a rock star, superstar type, that archetype. And I was really inspired by that. And then eventually I ran up on him on a Whole Foods when I worked there and just like irritated him and asked for a selfie that I couldn't take because literally my hand was shaking and it's so bad. So like that was one thing to do that. But it's not like I came out here and then I got cast alongside a cameo with Tom. So like to me, Matteo doesn't really like to brag about this stuff, but I'm just like, the fact that Mel is the one that literally inspired you to do this, and then your first time in America, your first on-screen role is next to Mel. I mean, that's just insane to me. Did you guys? How many takes did you do?
Did you guys make out?
Did you guys?
Yes.
Did you have sex in the cab?
Yes. And Anne Bancroft was watching actually. So
she was filming.
Yes. No, it was okay. This is as much as it took every ounce of energy to not geek out completely and drool for half an hour. There was a part of my brain that I was saying, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up.
You're gonna fuck it up.
Exactly.
You're gonna fuck it up. The question is, how much are you gonna fuck it up?
I always try to say, okay, let's try to be as professional as possible. Let's try to be as... because the last thing that you want to do is annoy your idol. They always say, never meet...
Failed on Jason's account. Could we maybe take a picture?
You're gonna fuck it up.
And I told him, I said, you know what? If I die tonight... The circle is complete.
Right, yes.
You are the reason why I want to be here. Now we're here with you. I can't go anywhere from here.
Be my angel of mercy. Do it, Mel.
God, plunge the knife in, Mel! End it! All right, kid, all right.
And I still remember it was very funny because we were going... It was a real motel, or at least a building with some kind of a lobby. We did the take 4 times in close-up. And every single time we were going back, he was telling me, okay, now I do this and you do that. And
so you had a couple takes.
Yes, and then we would go back and say, now I do this.
Jesus.
And on the last one...
Little huddles with Mel Brooks in between your guys' scene together.
And in the last one, he said, do you have any change on you? And I said, yes.
It's yours. Take it.
You can have it. You want?
He said, okay, now instead of $1, I give you the coins and make them clink.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Have a party with them.
I won't be seeing you.
Goodbye.
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 Goodbye. What a jerk. He left without saying goodbye.
Clearly, Ezio has pull.
Yes.
And how did the Mel thing start? I don't even know where to start here.
Well, how did he get everyone?
Because this is kind of objectively stuffed. Like you said, if his initial idea was that damn near every role is a face, granted, some of them you might be more of a movie nerd to know, but it is true that damn near every role, even though cameo is somebody. So, how does Ezio have such powers to stuff this? Cast?
It happened. It was a 1-2 punch. In his favor. Not necessarily he threw the punches, but they landed where they were supposed to land, and he was incredibly lucky. First, he secured Julie Corman, Roger Corman's wife,
of course,
as a producer.
That probably helps a lot.
They know the word.
There's still something out of whack out here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And the second person that Ezio was lucky enough to get was Craig Campobasso.
Craig Campobasso.
First of all, a wonderful human being above everything else.
So do my best, you.
Who's the dean, son?
I will.
Definitely, I will.
Can I talk normal today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because my mom is, she's developing a body of
I'm stumped. I don't know what to do anymore.
Seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah,
Whose name I read every time I peed in Matteo's for the
Dude,
first couple
all
years.
these people's names I've known for 14 years just because of the posters and him talking
I
about
wish
it.
we had a picture of me peeing in there, but Matteo had a massive...
He still does.
Well, it's not. It's in the other bathroom now.
Yes.
We can't film
It's
in that
always
bathroom.
been in the other bathroom.
Well, it switched bathrooms, but it's always been in a bathroom. So a lot of these names are going to ring bells. As much as it sounds like a joke, names will ring bells for me and Matthew because we've seen them all pissing because he had a huge signed poster. Dom DeLuise's gorgeous face stared down at us as we pissed for the first years of
No,
friendship.
I think it was always the other bathroom.
Craig
Craig Campobasso.
Who is this fantastic casting director who also knows the word. And
where's a newsboy camera?
yes, and sometimes he himself is a blooper because he is in back-to-back a scene in a restaurant, and right after that he is one of the lawyers in the swamp, right back-to-back. It's inadmissible. But I'm very glad because in the restaurant he is actually having dinner with his mom, who was as sweet as he is. And
I saw it in the book as I perused through.
And I'm glad that she is she's being immortalized in the movie.
Where are you gonna put that thing? That's what I'm saying. You guys still get this. Day plus anything over 3 hours. 2 days. That's going to do a lot of good. It takes the hot air. Here we go. That's a picture from... All right, Billy. Yes, right. Thank you. All right, let's fix that. Rock, you go first. Everybody get back out.
Every person on the set, really, I say genuinely, they were absolutely fantastic.
The Hollywood cliche come true. It was all love. It was wonderful.
Yes. If you will, the most high maintenance, but
oh shit,
just like this. At first, it was Shelley Winters, 2 Oscars. She deserves it, but after a second, she picked up the vibe of the set. They went out of the window, and she was as fun as everybody else.
I guess sometimes it can be infectious.
Can we?
Yes.
Regardless of who you
Do you know it well enough? Can we just do a quick rat-a-tat-tat of these? Because it really is and not only names I should say, but people, like I said, nerds like me and Matthew. One of our favorite side characters from Full House, I believe his name was Rosie.
Rosie Brown.
We knew him from a couple Full House episodes. Tony Cox. I mean, I guess Tony's pretty known after Bad Santa, of course. Let's see, Matteo. I want you to see how many names you can rattle off that are stuffed into this movie.
It's so hard.
Just whoever pops up, doesn't have to be bigger, but just try give them an idea of just rattle off some of the names that are in this movie.
I remember Joe Dante, John Carpenter, John Landis, Phyllis Diller, as you mentioned, Rip Taylor, Eddie Deason. He's in Grease. He's in War Games. He's also a wonderful character actor. There is Vigo.
Okay,
yeah, fucking Vigo, man.
That was actually We Are Ghostbusters, kids. We are absolute Ghosts, and that was
that
the
was
one
actually
where I was like,
post Ghostbusters too.
Yes. Oh, then there is Lance Kinsey from Police Academy.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where I knew him from.
Yeah.
Bubba Smith.
No, that Bubba Smith is also Police Academy.
Okay.
Yes. Nedra Volz, the wife of the Ranger. She is also a sweet character actress.
Oh yeah, recognize her face.
She's in the comedies of the 80s.
I know that face.
And she was adorable. She was, at the time, she was 85. She would come to the set with her car. The license plate was a Nidra V.
You are that sexy, don't answer that.
Of course, the gentleman that does what may be my favorite joke in the film, Mr. John Astin.
Ah!
forgot to tell you. Antonio's mother asked me to tell you to stop howling under her window at night. Goodbye.
It was incredible. I never. This is also something that it genuinely made me reflect on my whole life and also the stars and actors they met in Italy. I've never seen people that big, so incredibly affable, incredibly approachable. Never, ever, ever one moment sad or down, or they were always just like it looked like it was your best friend from the first second you would meet him.
Went to a party in a county jail. Prison matters there, they began to wail. The guys sang, come on to the jailhouse rock with me, let's rock. Everybody, let's rock. Wholesale block. I've been there to do the jailhouse. Dance to do the jailhouse. Dance to do the jailhouse. Hello. Tonight.
Before we move on, just because it's so easy to do, I realize this is right here. They actually list the whole cast. So let's just really quickly, because I was perusing through this. It's easy to do because
this is also written by Craig Campobasso.
Yes, Craig Campobasso's book about. So real quick, the cast. Of course, we have Ezio, Dom DeLuise, Billy Zane, Joanna Pacula. I'm sorry, Pacula.
She's
forgive
the
me.
daughter of Alan J. Pacula, an excellent director.
Charlene Tilton
from Dallas.
Martin Balsam from you said
Psycho.
Psycho, which
and
he replaced
he reprises
his role.
the same role.
Stuart Pankin, who I, being a 90s kid, know from, I think, like we said, Honey, We Blew Up the Kid.
Yes, but Stuart Pankin...
Earl Sinclair, right?
Oh my God, he's Earl Sinclair from Dinosaurs? I didn't know that.
He's the voice of Earl Sinclair. And he was, and that's how Ezio and myself met him on video for the first time, on an HBO TV show called Not Necessarily the News.
And now the Nightly News with Bob Charles.
Good evening. Tonight, firefighters put out a blaze that was raging in the downtown area. 6 were injured, with property damage in the millions. For more on that story, here's Jacqueline Purnell.
There is no more on that story, Bob.
What do you mean?
You told it all. There's nothing left for me to say.
Oh. Sorry. In sports, the Lakers edged the Celtics 98-97 with a basket at the buzzer. Here's Pete Kimmelman, live from the Forum.
Forget it, Bob. You just told everybody how it came out.
But I only gave out the score.
I only gave out the score.
For crying out loud,
Bob, that's the best part. I've got nothing to say to you.
Oh, talk about sensitive. Okay, let's go to the weather. Looks like showers tomorrow, doesn't it?
That's right.
Just gave it away. This is the Nightly News with Bob Charles. We'll be back with the late report tonight at 11.
I was supposed to say that. There's a lot of Big Bob.
We have, of course, Mr. John Aston, as we said. Yes. Miss Phyllis Diller, another actual Full House vet from the night where she robs Joey Gladstone of his spot.
Did you do anything besides that?
No, just that one episode. She fucks up Joey's shot at.
It was a joke about her career before Full House.
Oh, sorry, Matthew. Sometimes you're so deadpan that I don't pick up on it. Try saying it with a higher voice. Did she do anything after that? Larry Storch, who a television icon. Forgive me, I don't know.
Oh my God, yes.
Larry Storch. I'm young.
Isn't he a record producer?
Scott Storch. I got that joke. Matteo wouldn't.
It actually was more of a question.
Scott Storch reference for the 9 of you out there that'll get it. That's probably even a higher number again. Mr. Rip Taylor, a wonderful man.
More like
R.I.P. Taylor?
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead.
Yes.
I think Rip would appreciate that joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Shelley Winters.
Who also is dead.
2-time
Matteo.
Oscar winner.
Too soon, man.
Oh, sorry.
And in bad taste. In general bad taste.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we have Tony Cox, who went on, of course, to be iconic in Bad Santa. Joe Dante,
There's Marshall Bell, who was...
I'm sorry, I suppose I skipped the people I didn't recognize.
I noticed you skipped the pages.
Marshall Bell is a Kuatu in Total Recall, the original
I'm
one.
sorry, I'm a young whippersnapper. I did point out Rosie.
Rosie Brown, who's also in Naked Gun 33 and 1/3, I believe, is one of the convicts. Henry Silva, who is... he has done probably more movie than Celluloid. Where is it?
John Carpenter.
John Landis, John Carpenter, Irwin Keyes, who is
House of Thousand Corpses.
Yes. And
I forgot a big one. Mr. Azamat Begadov himself, Ken
Davitian.
Davitian, thank you.
Who was also wonderful. And
he hasn't aged.
Sure, there's only one victim. Not enough stuff here for twins.
Hasta la baby vista. Hasta la
well, we'll talk a little bit more about Ezio Greggio maybe, because he is mostly...
Ezio?
Ezio Greggio, yes. And he is mostly known in Italy for playing a comedic version of himself. His probably pinnacle is when he plays, let's say, Ezio Greggio on television. Sometimes he does characters and other stuff, but mostly when he is himself is when he actually excels, because he has what I believe the French call a verve. He has that pizzazz and that ability that it's unparalleled. I've rarely seen people playing pretty much themselves that uppity and being laser focused on the target, and he is when he does that is impeccable.
That storm is awful.
The storms around here are really treacherous. They sneak up on you and stab you in the back, cut right through to the bone.
Listen.
Blow after blow after blow.
I'd like a room, please.
Striking, slicing, cutting, hacking, lapping. Right away, ma'am. I have one all made up. It's the off-season. During the season, we are closed.
And then there is Rudy De Luca, as we were saying, a wonderful human being and screenwriter, an actor and director. He did Transylvania 65000, and he wrote with Mel Brooks.
It says here, credited as writer on these Mel Brooks films. Silent movie. High Anxiety.
In
Life Stinks.
In High Anxiety, he also plays a killer.
Coming, sir. Did they call for the jack off or the maniac? The maniac. The maniac.
But it could have been the schmuck. I'm not sure. It was Peter and the maniac.
In this movie, am I the roller, the jack off, the idiot, or the maniac?
You're the killer jack off maniac.
Killer jack off. That's me. I remember that part.
You had a tremendous.
So we could probably reminisce endlessly, and it would be fun. But should we dive into?
You weren't there.
Should we dive into our little jam session about the movie itself? Because strangely enough, even though, yes, I believe the cameo with Mel was shown very quickly in The Friendship, and a couple other scenes, like we'll get into the John Aston joke you showed us, which I always thought was funny. I feel like it took us quite some time, coming up on 15 years of friendship this year. And we had not watched this thing.
I know you never pushed it on us.
No.
But I'm surprised. But I think at the same time, it was always like,
You
wait,
saw Fast Food and I didn't see it, or at least
Not
part
the
of
whole
it.
thing.
You knew it existed.
No, one day I brought it to your place.
I've seen it, but I think he saw it first. Is the point?
But I think this felt like something very ceremonial, where we were like waiting for like the clouds to part. Like, oh, this is the time we're supposed to do it. And like, okay, now we're doing.
In all fairness, up until 1 year ago, I never had
I was just
the
about
Blu-ray.
to say. So one more thing we should point out.
I'm sorry?
It's always VHS before that.
I only had the VHS. And
Well, we should point out that
I guess that would be the deterrent for nowadays.
this was very interesting. That this is an absolutely gorgeous. Actually, let's pick it up. We've had enough of a shot. This is very gorgeously produced. It looks like an actual book. We got Dom on one side, Billy on the other. We always talk about how we don't have any more awesome packaging DVDs. We got a waffle DVD based on a throwaway gag. It looks like a dossier in here. So it's very wonderfully produced. But Matteo, where did this only come out in?
It came out from Germany.
Which
in fact,
so
here
strange.
is, for some reason, here is the Silence of the Hams, and here is Il Silenzio dei Prosciutti, which is of course, it makes absolutely no sense in Italian. It just is a literally translation of the Silence of the Hams, but of course,
language is very weird.
Yes, is not compatible. It just it didn't fly as a joke, as a pun from Silence of the Lambs in Italian.
So as I was saying, you
But-
very clearly must have some type of cult following in Germany for them to put
Yes,
this type of effort
the whole
into.
thing is in Dutch. I mean, the DVD has no, not in Dutch.
German.
German. What an
Fucking idiot.
Yes, and I
So
don't.
you have no idea what they're saying.
I have absolutely no idea.
And it also comes with a.
Wait, you have an accent though. You can't understand it.
Exactly.
It comes with a documentary that is actually longer than the movie itself.
Yes.
Very clearly, to put this type of effort in, there must be some sort of cult following in Germany. So now we have the Blu-ray, and I have to say, it did look like I said. We were used to VHS. It did look beautiful.
Yes,
and
I have to say, because the cinematographer of this movie is
Oh, right, yes,
is
another-
the wonderful
another factoid.
Jacques Hyken, who did a million movies, but mostly at the time he was also one of my idols because he did the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which was superb, and I kept on pestering him with tons of questions about it.
Is this for Italian television? What's the matter, you? What's the matter? You can't get your country together.
And actually, a bit of odd synchronicity that today the episode on the promotion dropped, where we talked about forgive me, cinematographer on that one.
Yes.
Was who you first met here, who would go on to be acclaimed as an Oscar-nominated cinematographer, Larry Sher.
Larry Sher.
We'll be right back.
As I said, this is kind of Matteo's American genesis. Obviously, he did a whole fuck ton of work back in Italy, but this was the start of the American journey.
Doesn't really matter until you do it in America.
Sadly, that's how we feel. But yes, that's your 6 million hours of backstory. Have fun editing all of that, as you will. But let's get into our jam session, because there is actually a movie behind all this.
Yes.
No!
I guess we will we'll
Now
start.
I will shut up. No, I will say one more thing before I go.
Can I come?
Yes. You.
Oh.
What I'm about to say probably for you is going to be nothing. He might say, oh, shit. The house in front of the motel, it was in the Warner Ranch, and is the house that was built for Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, shit.
Where the hell are we?
Listen, do we have to get out here?
Balkanmania Courts in School, 1898.
Balkanmania.
It was a U-shaped house. It only had three
Built
sides.
for filming?
It was built for
Nothing But Trouble.
For Nothing But Trouble. I don't know if it still stands, but after that, I saw that house featured in at least 5 other productions, including probably something like either, if not Tales from the Crypt, something of that, like this movie, and it was beautiful.
They built the motel for
They built the motel for this,
Yeah.
and the first 2 rooms were actually practical, and the rest was a facade as well.
Ever seen her? Her name is Jane Wine.
I have never seen her.
You're absolutely sure?
100% Scout's honor. You don't believe me? Do you want to check the register?
No, I wouldn't dream of it.
He doesn't find her. He doesn't find her. He found her.
And I will say very honestly that watching this, it does not look like an indie movie at all.
No.
He completely achieved the look of an actual movie, especially with all the stars. So whatever you may think of it, it does not look like something low budget. It does not look like one of these asylum. I always get back to the asylum every time. I'm just saying, we watch a lot of those things.
Hold on.
So
Asylum, check.
yes,
What
every episode with you fuckers. But it does not look like an indie movie at all. It looks like a big budget movie. The stars help that. So I think
Stop saying it. You're making it less impactful.
in that aspect, mission achieved. So Matthew, as usual, you're the one that doing the least.
Why?
So, no, I'm just saying, you're doing the least blah blah blah. I'm going to say, what did you think of it?
It felt like wrongfully accused. What's the other one?
Spy Hard.
Spy Hard. Kind of in that in between period between Naked Gun and adaptation to newer comedy. Where
I believe at this point 1 and 2 had come out, but not 3. Is that correct? Naked Gun, I mean.
Yeah, I remember when we finished shooting this movie, came out Hot Shot Part 2.
Okay,
So,
once again,
yes.
very similar in theme. I will say, fucking loaded with jokes,
Yes.
back to back to back to back to back.
Maybe I would. That was my main criticism of the movie is that maybe even too many. I would insert a couple of scenes where just to.
It's funny you say that.
It's not the musical number in between, but just to.
No, we've talked about the breathing moment that the audience needs, even if you want to stuff it with laughter. So what's interesting about you saying that is the whole time I'm thinking that we have always talked about needing those breathing moments, and yet, having said that, this is a very impressive joke ratio. And what I will say is that speaking of much maligned things like The Asylum, the much maligned and despised Friedberg and Setzer movies, impressive joke ratio in this, and I don't feel the laziness there.
No.
That they have.
Yes.
I do feel like they actually cared, there was energy behind them, and you may say a lot don't hit their mark, but there really is a sense of energy of like, I think in a minute you might get like 10 jokes sometimes. Like it really is crazy.
Plus the jokes aren't all references, and you're only doing parodies of 2 main movies.
Yes.
I am Fargus. I am Fargus. I am Fargus. 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 I am Dick Butkus.
The main problem I would have comes back to the old Frank Drebin, because, and even Leslie Nielsen's roles outside of Frank Drebin, not for whatever reason, I mean obviously he's very talented, but in the Naked Gun trilogy, Frank Drebin is played so beautifully by Leslie that he has a heart, despite the nonstop goofiness. His relationship with Jane, whatever stage it's in throughout the 3 movies, you actually care about, and he is enough to sustain you.
And his want to do good, his belief that he's doing good and trying to make a difference.
In addition to Leslie just being immensely likable and just being devastating with his straight deadpan deliveries of absurdity, he gives you something to grab onto. So, for instance, I found that within the first half hour of this, I had a pretty good quotient of lulls, genuinely so. Nice little punctuations here and there. But by the end, I felt a little tired. And I don't think necessarily that the jokes changed. I just think that at a certain point when you don't have that life raft to cling on to, that there's not as much to carry you through and this is actually, I think, quite brief. I think The entire runtime, it said when it popped up, was an hour 21. That's probably with credits. So it was nice and brief, but and that's not even a critique of this so much as it is this entire genre. You mentioned Hot Shots. I was actually very impressed by both of those. I suppose you could give credit to Sheen there, Charlie Sheen.
Yes.
But the Wrongfully Accused and the Spy Hards, I always remember Wrongfully being a little more fun. But even Leslie himself starred in a lot of ones that would become clunkers. I remember Repossessed. We watched, I think, research for one of our movies.
Not to mention 2001: A Space Travesty, where he starred alongside.
Oh, there you are. At last you come.
My God, is that all you people do up here in the evenings?
This is good for sleep, Marshal. A nice, sweet, warm decaf. Non-fat latte, a touch of mocha, no foam. Do you want some?
No, thank you.
So that would be my main critique, is that, and I might have, I guess we do spend a lot of time with Billy, but Billy and Don, I think Billy has the potential to be a Drebin with, like you said, how great he can deliver the line.
But almost
still
shifts
be...
where you don't even, like, you know he's the main character, but
That's what I was going to say.
I would have, he's the main character.
I would have leaned more heavily on Billy and maybe given Don a little more space. I'm sorry, Dom, forgive me. Dom more time to go, because they are both very talented, and I think had we had them be Drebin and Ed, like more focus on them, it might have been a little more of a core to grab onto.
Mr. Animal?
I have crossed oceans of time to find you. I know, my path is crooked. I can't use a mirror. Don't move, miss. You are a woman, you're black. A newspaper reporter from Des Moines. No, Flint, Michigan. Oh.
Good evening. FBI have an appointment?
So I think my main critique is by the end I was a little tired. But, you know, you've always made the joke that you'll like laugh twice throughout this. I found a good credit. It might be like a 25%, but that only speaks to how many jokes they cram in. But I laughed at a good amount. I think it just, these type of movies may become tiring when you don't have something to anchor them. And of course, that's not to say there wasn't a massive talent, as we just discussed over the past 45 minutes. But that was my main thing. By the end, I genuinely felt a little bit tired. And I wasn't crazy about the orgy of unmasking at the end.
Yeah, it was. It's a very incredibly confusing, and
I mean, again, you don't really need to be with the plot for this, but
and also there is the
sorry,
there is my pet peeve on those kind of stuff, that the music is telling it that you have to laugh, and sometimes I prefer just like forget the music, just like go to the, but this is personal choice, and this is, I think I might be completely right on this, but I also might be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure that in the very first draft of this version, first version of this cut, the voiceover was by Dom DeLuise.
Oh, the Ezio voiceover?
Yes.
It was kind of a weird choice for Ezio to be the...
Yes, it was a little weird, and especially because he's the only one who actually dies in the movie.
Yes, Dom would have been a far better choice.
And also...
Or Billy. Someone more integral.
Yes, and especially because it's not... I mean, not that there is anything wrong per se, but having a narrator who is not... English is not his or her first language. It's always a little strident to follow, and I think that it pulls off a little bit from actually the story itself.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
just like my main.
That kind of makes it feel disconnected too. To like,
yes.
Wait, who am I following? Why am I following this
right.
guy?
Ouch.
Ouch.
I'm gonna get one of the lens. Thank you, sir. Oh! Well, no, it was still off to the left.
Other than that, I've, of course, I'm incredibly attached to this movie for it let me meet a bunch of people and see how actually movies are made, because the Italian movie was completely different.
I did actually, I held this when we were talking before we started shooting. One of the jokes that I found objectively impressive visually, regardless of whether or not, it wasn't really a real laugher, but...
I'll give you a lift.
That's okay. I can catch the bus right outside.
That was the week that we spent entirely in a warehouse where they were built Billy Zane's apartment, the cell of Animal Cannibal, and the front of the motel. So when they did that, outside of the apartment of Billy Zane, they moved the wall that you would see through the door enough to give room to the bus. They actually carted the bus inside the studio and the warehouse, and they did that bit. And I think that we tried it 3 or 4 times before it hit the mark perfectly, that she opened the door when the bus pulled in, because it's not that easy to just like move a bus like that.
I think with a lot of that stuff too, if it's a more subtle delivery of just like, no, I can take the bus, and just very casual and getting on it, as opposed to, I think her had a little bit more of a setup with her line.
Yes.
I really love the phone cord gag.
Oh, that's very interesting, sir. But I know honesty.
The governor's on my
There is
ass. I'll be demoted. I can't handle it, Joe. First
No,
I was president, then mayor. If you fail, I could end up being a proctologist. Joe, I'm no crook. I'm no crook.
Just for a visual of
pulling
tying up
up,
the entire
tying
office,
everyone, yes.
and then dragging everyone as you get in the car with it too.
Yes. Well, that was my next question. Is I know there's about literally 5,000.
You don't see
of
that
this,
shit anymore.
But
no.
I'll say one of mine, which I've been foreshadowing the whole time. But let's talk about if anyone has any favorite jokes.
What's one of yours?
One that we were shown before we even saw this, I think still holds up, is John Astin.
I forgot to tell you.
And it's just one of those perfect comic timings. That I'm trying to think what else. Matthew, any ones? I know you said the phone cord, but
going back to the phone cord, the first person who gets strangled is the wonderful Gary Morgan, who was our stunt coordinator, and who also is an exceptionally gifted dancer as well as an actor. He is, of all people, a son of Shirley Winters in Pete's Dragon, the original one.
Never seen it.
He's one of the lots of songs, so we can skip through it.
Okay.
But it has a couple of very nice special effects.
Shelley Winters plays the mom.
Shelley Winters plays the mom, and she is superlative.
It's funny, even if we didn't have the backstory, wanted to break this down, I feel like the rat-a-tat-tat joke means you can. That is pretty much the movie with like you said, a slight skeleton of Psycho and Silence of the Lambs. So it almost seems hard to judge unless you're talking about the rat-a-tat-tat. You know what I mean?
Yes, almost seems too tight in terms of doing those two films because you know all the beats already.
Yes.
So it doesn't give you too much original stuff other than jokes incorporated into those plots.
And it was one thing that I forgot to mention, that in the movie there is the exact same scene of Martin Balsam from Psycho falling down the stairs when he gets stabbed.
Stairs, no! No! Ma!
And it was done exactly like they did in Psycho. He was on a chair, and it was rear projection. Everything was behind, and we were telling him what was on the screen. So now you're flying. So it was just
it's like a Whose Lines Is It Anyway game.
Pretty much, yes.
I do want to stress again, like I said, because of how abysmal the Friedberg and Setzer movies are, I really did think you guys tried to have energy
It's
and
funny
passion
going back
behind
to
all
watch
these.
anything
other than those two.
No, but Friedberg and Setzer
Yeah.
type parody from this era, 90s to
It's
probably,
automatically better than those pieces.
Yeah, early 2000s. Yes.
It's because like you said, this one is.
It's not just a reference as a joke.
Something zany. Something zany happens. It could just be a zany. Someone slips. Someone does this. The letter falls off. That one is just like.
Was it
remember that?
Billy?
Zany.
Zany?
But yes, those movies are just remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this.
Yes,
remember this.
yeah. The most modern is just like there is I don't know the lady the princess from Enchanted. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, we should do a whole episode.
Happens. Yes.
You know
that would be funny out of context though. You just put it in like a random scene.
Oh my God!
Right?
It would be hilarious.
That's a great. Write that down somewhere.
Yes.
We made this
it's
show.
probably written here somewhere.
We made this show with the intent of actually discussing why we didn't like a movie, and we wanted to understand how hard it was to make a movie, and we never wanted to bash. But with those two in their movie, I'd be down to do an entire episode bashing them because they're just so
and give some rest to the asylum.
Yeah, yes, it's just so shitty. Okay.
By the way, sorry, last thing, 7-week shoots plus a couple of pickups, 5 days a week. So it was.
You said about 2.5 months.
Yeah, it was impressive because between pre-production and all the stuff, yes. But 7 weeks all across Los Angeles, except for because the shots, the stock footage from Venice, and.
How long until you came to America after?
Me personally, 3 years later.
Oh,
we shot in '93. I moved here in '96.
What a jerk!
So, ladies and gentlemen, the time of Matteo Molinari's life, 1993, in the City of Dreams, Hollywood. You've heard the backstory. We're going to get to the old voting session, and I suppose it's hard because we have so much baggage attached to this movie. But I guess just do the movie itself.
You're carrying a lot of dead weight, man.
I know I have to slim a little bit.
Matthew, you want to start us off?
Okay.
Are we going to do the movie or the whole experience of this intermingling and what it means?
Whatever it is for you, what's your left from watching
movie.
it?
Okay.
The discussion was more about the experience, but the... I'm going to go with...
Iggy Boo!
3.5?
That's my happy now.
Oh, I think it might be a pre-cut half.
All at once?
Yes, that's better.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just like
making more work.
Mainly for the reason of it kind of being too kind of straightforward in terms of it just being the two movie parodies and kind of hitting the same beats as you would have known from those two films. Definitely crammed with a lot of jokes. Not all of them hit, or at least in terms of laughing out loud for me, but. Once again, you compare something like this to a modern day parody and it just looks like complete shit nowadays because it's so lazily done and put together that it's just referential material versus any sort of joke or tweak on something that already existed.
When was the last movie like this? Was it like Meet the Spartans or whatever the Friedberg team did last?
I mean, they're still making those. It's just they're mostly straight to streaming now.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Well, I'm debating whether or not to let outside forces into my vote because, like I said, as a dreamer, I've always genuinely appreciated Matteo having someone that inspired him to want to do this. And also, we, shoved everything in a car and drove across the country. Matteo went across the continent. So, I don't know. I feel like as a dreamer, I've always...
You can't drive here.
Drove across the ocean. It was horrible.
Dr. Animal.
Call me A.
A?
Also, call me Doctor.
A doctor.
Dr. A.
Excuse me, Dr. A.
Bingo.
Dr. A. Bingo?
Moving on.
I've always appreciated the Mel full circle, and I know that whenever I get down in the dumps with my whiny ass, someone will be like, well, hey, look at what you did and came out here and you did this, this, and that. And I'll be like, So I understand Matteo being like, but I've always thought it's a pretty damn cool story. So I think I would, factoring all that into the experience of this unique movie, I'm going to go 3 and bump it up a little just because I get some dreamer fumes off this. And even before seeing the movie, I got some dreamer fumes off of it because Matteo told me what about the Mel thing and what it meant. And hearing further stories, it makes me feel like well, my voice just cracked. Jesus, it makes me feel like
you finally got puberty.
Oh, dude, is that ever? It happens so embarrassing often. It makes me feel like, gosh darn it, maybe us little nobodies from either Jersey or Italy can do it if we want to do it.
Oh, Jesus, now look what you did, man.
I'm just saying.
We beat him down. He should shut up after a while. Now he's back.
I'm going to give 1, 2, 3. If this was just a detached movie, I might give a little lower. But like I said, the movie has energy. It has verve. And I appreciate what it means to Matteo and what it means to me. Like I said, the fact I think it shows that people can actually do this crazy dream.
Well, I'm directly involved, so it's very hard to judge yourself.
Throw yourself in the basket.
Yeah. Okay.
Mort did it.
What? Yeah. And it made me
a man.
No, yes.
Mel made you a man.
A lot of people whom I love and with whom I'm still in contact nowadays. So it's very hard to judge it objectively.
It's not even a movie anymore.
Yes, it is more an experience, a happening, if you will. I would just say probably for the things that I mentioned, the voiceover, which I've always found it a little weird, and the music a little too present, I would go just with half, because it seems right.
MaJaMa.
It was a very pleasant surprise also to see how Ezio was able to command a crew of about 150 elements in another language, which he hadn't done in Italy. More than he was just like directing here and there, but this one was actually his first effort, and so.
Very good. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Silence on the hand. See you Sunday, yeah. See you Sunday, of course. Thank you very much.
And apparently, just like Hitler in the 1940s, the Germans love you.
Very true.
So guys, if you are out there and you're sitting on your ass and you're wondering if you can do it, look at the 3 of us sitting on a couch in Matteo's apartment speaking into a camera about movies while we all work day jobs. You can do it too.
Wait, they realize they can't do it?
You can.
They can sit on my couch.
You could be sitting here with us.
MaJaMa.
We were shooting the scene in the basement, and it was by
it's making me very depressed about our lives.
It's funny because Matteo is one of the most self-deprecating motherfuckers ever, but I always tell him, like, dude, you've done, like, we might be in the same boat out here in America, but this motherfucker has, like, history of actually working on shows and stuff like this. Like, you know, we met a lot of people as Whole Foods cashiers. Or,
we did that YouTube skit.
We did do some YouTube skits.
Yes.
We
Hey, the guy from that.
Yeah.
Matteo, you're making it worse.
Yes. No. The oh my God.
Oh, this is a serious thing that we did?
Yes. Now the Boomtown Gang is taking me away the name. The singer of the band who likes Betsy J. Sharks.
Yes, that's still, I can't believe that random tangent.
Hootie and the...
No, it's Blues Traveler.
Blues Traveler.
One of the most.
Boomtown Gang.
Fuck is the Boomtown Gang?
You're
Maybe
just
you're thinking
so
of the
good to
Bloodhound
be
Gang.
through.
Oh.
Can't take.
Maybe you're thinking the Bloodhound Gang.
So technically, you never knew who you're talking to online, but it did have a verified checkmark account of Blues Traveler.
Blues Traveler.
And in the DMs that I shared with this gentleman, he said, "It's me, John Popper."
He said, "It's me."
It's me.
It's John Popper. The harmonicist.
Yes.
Yeah,
and lead
harmonicist.
singer.
Apparently, he asked for a copy of Bad CGI Sharks to watch and said it's a wonderful movie and tweeted that out. I completely forgot about that actually.
I remember things.
If you have the tweet saved, put it up because they'll think we're lying.
I
You don't think the guy from Blues Traveler actually said they liked our shark movie? Well,
MaJaMa.